Yo, what's going on, folks? It's me, Lil Orphan Annie, and today we're going to do an update for the Great Translate Experiment. Let's talk about it. So, what it is. So I my big case study that I was doing for a while. I know that the niche in there has a huge, massive international audience. There's a lot of people looking for it outside of English-speaking countries, but I wasn't tapping into them at all. And I found just by doing some quick translating of keywords that I was already ranked for, that there was a lot of keywords. There were very low competition, as you can see from the screenshot, and pretty decent volume. I mean, I don't even remember what that keyword was, but as you can see, man, there's no difficulty. It's popping off. The volume over time is going up. Just it's still, I would imagine. Again, I don't even remember what the keyword was that is there. It's going crazy in Colombia, Spain, Venezuela, Mexico. Those South American countries, all right, and Middle American countries are just, they're looking for this. But I don't speak Spanish, and I didn't have the budget to tap in or to hire a freelancer. I did that. Once upon a time, I hired a few freelancers on Upwork to translate articles. I think there was 6 to French, because I found, again, the keyword or the thing that I was promoting had a huge audience in France, and another one in the Philippines for the exact same reason. Filipino, Tagalog. Translated them. Great. But they're $75 a pop. And I didn't have the budget to be translating 660 articles. That's how many total are on the website right now. Because that equals 49 some shit $1,000. Ain't doing it. So what's the solution? TranslatePress, DeepL API, automagic translations, right? So TranslatePress, it's a WordPress plugin, just handles all the logistics, the technical part of translating posts, puts them in the folders for you, keeps it all organized, whatever. I don't know. I'm not a nerd. I let them handle that part. DeepL is the translation service that lauds itself on being a more accurate version or translation service, more accurate than Google Translate, Amazon's translation service, Microsoft's translation service, all those other ones. And you know what? Guess what? I believe them. You know why? Because I don't speak all these other languages. So when they say, when they have the little bar charts that say 6 times better than the next guy, 5 times better, 6 times, I believe it. All right. And nobody's complaining just yet. And guess what? The rankings speak for themselves. I don't know why I'm so animated. So the initial test for this site was, I started with a few languages. 1, to test the waters. 2, because I didn't want to go crazy as far as budget, even though it's incredibly inexpensive. It's 50 cents per article per language. And that's on the high end. It's probably closer to 25. But I started with Spanish, Russian, Italian, German, French, Portuguese, Polish, and Dutch, because those were the most popular as far as speakers, and then what the DeepL API can do. So and that's what you're going to see on the next slide for the screenshot. What is the results from that? What we're here to see and talk about. That's what we're looking like. So end of September, beginning of October, that's when I actually started. And as you can see, it's been slow rolling. It's been a slow growth, about 2 months. Then something that happened after January. I don't know. I think this dip right here is Christmas. This dip right here is New Year's. And then it's just been going up ever since. About damn near crossing that 375 clicks per day. We're on the fast track to singularity. It's going to be all the clicks. And as you can see, CTR, great. Position, great. Some of these positions might be branded search, which I'm not going to get clicks for. Those longer tail, the questions, the answers, the reviews, is it legitimate? Should I buy this? Should I sign up? That's where we're winning. All right. And the regex is, of course, just the international pages, the subfolders that they're put in. So that was round 1. And then it's the 9th of February. Yeah, it is February. Okay, 9th of February today. I think on the 1st-ish, somewhere a few days ago, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just expand this to all the languages offered? So that's what I did, right? I expanded to all of them. I don't even remember all of them, but here are the country codes. I know Korean is popping off right now. There's a little Japan action, Ukrainian. Slovakia, and there's a bunch. Finnish, all right, not like a race, but Finland, Hungarian. Okay, there's a lot. I said, you know what, send it. We'll see how it's going. As you can see, I mean, it's going well so far, even with this abysmal average position. I think it's here in the next few weeks, here in the next few months. Okay, this year is gonna be freaking insane, because if this continues on, even if it flatlines at 375, that's great, right? But traffic is up. But what about money? Okay, there's no why would I do this if I'm not going to make more money from it, right? So the problem is that the data is really hard to get accurate, right? The only thing I can do, just because some platforms, like there's like 3 out of like the 90 some that are being promoted on the site, affiliate programs, like 3 allow you to like sort by country, right? But that's not significant. So I had to basically look at the thirsty affiliates clicks, the reports for the clicks for the month, and I just removed all duplicate IP addresses. I just went for unique IP addresses, because there's a lot of bots that'll just like scan the site and just they'll count for clicks, and it'll be, you know, for one IP address they'll click every single link, and we don't want that. The other side of why this isn't going to be accurate, 100% accurate data, is because some people click on multiple links in an article, but with duplicates being removed, that's not going to be accurate, right? And since, well, I'm not like trying to sell anything or anything like that, like that doesn't need to be accurate, you know what I mean? It just needs to be showcasing that something has changed. That's what it does, right? So here's the numbers between October 2022 and January 2023. Total users, total page views, total number of unique IP addresses, and then here are the top 10 clicks per country. And as you can see, most of the ones that were already kind of there existing, they're still there and existing. They're not changing much. United States is still leading the way because, well, it's primarily an English. It's all English. Everything else is catching up. The old GB's right there, number 2. Canada has been displaced by Russia and Germany. That only went up a little bit. I imagine it's because one of the languages was French. Russia came out of nowhere, damn near 8 times, it looks like, 8xing traffic after the translation. Germany out there doubling traffic over the last few months. Australia's, doing about the same. India's about doing the same, a little bit better. But Singapore, out of nowhere. Where are you guys? What are you guys doing? Anyway, the thing with this is, like, I only took the top 10 because, in both cases, it's kind of it's a very exponential decay. Yeah, I think that makes sense, where it's like really high up to, and then it just kind of slowly trickles down into the 1s and 2s. But the average clicks per country in August was something like 42, and that's all of them, United States down to Zambia, you know what I mean? And then in January, it was about 55. So across the board, everything's kind of rising up. And it's also, I should probably look at mean, but, not a true scientific study over here. But there's a lot that are, again, from these translated countries that are starting to show up higher, like the 11th through the 20th, as far as clicks for both snapshots for both months, were vastly different. There was all kinds of variations, right? So I think it's working. I think it is. Looking at those few platforms that did allow for sorting by country, we're seeing some diversification as far as signups and spending going on. Of course, the United States is still number 1 because that's what it's primarily been and what it's always going to be. We'll see over the next few months if another country takes over. But yeah, I think it is working. I think it is worth it. I don't have a screenshot of it, but I think in total, this translation effort ran like maybe $550, and that was with a major fuck up. So it was probably closer to about $300 to $400. But we're gonna see some good things this year. So before you go, hold up. I learned that you can put GIFs into Canva, so That's what that's about. Should you try it? Right? I don't know. What I don't want you to do is like take my experience as like gospel, and think that, oh, it worked for him, it'll work for me, because I don't know what you're working with. I don't know what what your content's like. I don't know if there is an international competitor already. I'm very fortunate. Like I had, when I looked for the Spanish keywords, I'm gonna move my face back under the camera because I like to look at myself. When I found a competitor, and basically there's one competitor doing my niche in Spanish. They didn't have backlinks. There were no backlinks. Their content was 200, 300, 400 words, and they're ranking. So I basically knew that I could go in and just smush them. I don't know if that's going to work for you. Additionally, as far as money goes, if you rely on display ads, it may not be in your best interest to start getting some international audience. Some countries, I think most ad networks, there's pretty clear guidelines as far as what countries they like getting traffic, or they want their ads being shown to, and what countries they don't. So you might not want to translate to those countries that they wouldn't want shown, otherwise you risk whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't have a problem with that. Again, this was all calculated. This is all like looked at all the factors, like audience is there. Yes. Competition is there. No. Can these people, do the thing, make the purchase from their location? Is it like a location agnostic affiliate program? Yes. For instance, geographical pricing. Do they offer, is it $50 in the US and $12 in, I don't know, India, or $8 in the Philippines, just because the cost of living is different in all these places? Do they offer that? Can you benefit, period, from an international audience? Are you selling your own product and it's only in English? Well, do you really need to get Italian people to your website? They don't speak fucking English to take your video course. You know what I mean? It's not going to benefit you. And lastly, does the money even matter? Or are you creating something you're like, hey, these people should just know. I'm trying to build just a personal brand, and I want everybody to know that I'm the guy that knows everything about hydroponics, or whatever your niche is. You know what I mean? Does the money matter? And again, kind of going back, I'm going to repeat this. I looked at everything, that was going on. And I was like, okay, yes, it makes sense for me on a business front, as far as the actual website and how it makes money and how I make money, or blah, 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 blah. It makes sense to introduce this to an international audience, get those people on there. Additionally, on the SEO front, as far as Google or Bing or Yahoo or the thousands of other search engines that are popping up every day, am I risking my rankings by doing this, by basically taking whatever content I have published and multiplying it by like 27 or 28, like that, instantly? Am I risking something? Kind of. But in my case, with the products and stuff that I promote, there's a lot of recurring aspects to it. So there is not a huge risk as far as if my rankings went to zero overnight, my earnings aren't going to go to zero overnight. I'll still continue to make money month over month, long time before it goes to zero. Let me get a little sippy sip. So I wasn't at risk of something like that. Additionally, the niche that I'm in, it's really not one that's messed with by the search engines. I don't know. It's for adults only, and it's not porn, but it's for adults only. So I can get away with a lot of dumb shit as far as the SEO front goes. Like a lot of the typical advice, the mainstream pet niche, local business, whatever, all that, irrelevant to me, because it's just, again, it goes with, I know my niche. I know it was something I could pull off. you have to kind of calculate the risks as far as getting automatic content. And it might be something, again, where you have some huge competition that's already international, and they actually have international writers writing original content or manually translating accurately. So again, should you try it? I don't know. Do some fucking risk assessment. So what's next for me about this, right? I'm already putting it on a second site that I'm publishing on. The site is a few months old. It had a few pieces put up. It's not like super depth I don't know if there's not a lot of content on it, but I'm putting more content on it. I'm kind of consolidating a few different sites that I've started over the years into one, instead of having them, 30 here, 40 here, 50 here, 20 here. Let's just put 100 on one and make it happen. And I'm also translating automatically as I go. Like, I already put all the TranslatePress, so connected it, so it's automatically creating these variations in different languages. Again, all the languages, but it's a competitive niche. It's not like the one I was just talking about with like this main project that I've translated. This is more like software, like biz tech, martech software stuff. So it's incredibly competitive, but there's still an international audience for that. And this is more of a passion thing, not even passion project, more like a Hail Mary. We're trying something. We're swinging for the fences with this one. And I'm also, again, curious how data-fed AI-generated content how well that'd work being translated into 20 some odd languages, And that's kind of, I've talked about this a little bit in the review of the bulk publishing, Ariel Phoenix's spreadsheet, bulk publishing system. Like, instead of just feeding it an outline and having it populate the text based on H3s or H2s, what if you gave it all the data points you wanted to talk about, and all it is filling in the gaps between those data points, or extrapolating on whatever data point you're feeding it. What colors does the S8 or whatever Samsung phone this is, S22, what colors does it come in? It could generate something like that. Or I can say, write 2 paragraphs about these colors: black, white, magenta, rose gold, pearl, blah, blah, blah. And then what it's generating is accurate because it's from a data set, as opposed to just make some shit up. It might sound right. Let's actually feed it something that we know is truthful. So that's what we got going on. I think that's the last slide. I'm going to leave you with this right there, so you can just relish in that. And I swear, what has this been? 4 months? October, November, December, January, February. It's February now. We'll get an update in what? June? No, July. First week in July. We'll update again, and we'll see where we're at.